Here it is. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tower Garden event tonight. My name is Cindy Novich, and I'm here with my friend Shandelin Anderson. And we are excited to share information with you about how you can grow an aeroponic garden. But I wanted to share a little bit before that about why we come together and share information because we work with a company that is all about health and wellness. And it started with these two products, the fruit and veggie capsules. These are powdered produce. It's literally fruit and veggies, that's it. And it has a nutrition facts label. So the same as what you'd see on a bag of carrots instead of a supplement. It is food. I'm going to show you what a little capsule looks like. There you go. If you open that, you can pour it out and it's just veggies in this one. So anyway, we have the fruit, the veggie, the berries, and then we have a plant-based omega. So these are omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. They bypass the fish, that would be an omega 3, and they went to their source of food, which is the algae. So you get a really beautiful citrus flavored omega versus a fishy flavor. And then that is the micronutrition. And here we have a plant-based macronutrition. This is another 14 plants in this protein powder that you can make into a smoothie or energy bites. If you are on the go, super busy, you can just mix this with water. And I like to use it as my breakfast, but it can be as a meal replacement if you want, or it could be just for on the go or a pre or post workout. So I am going to turn this over to Shandelin now. And I need to make her a host so she can share her screen. And if you guys have questions, like I was saying at the end, feel free, just hold your questions and you can ask them at the end. And Shandelin, you should be able to share your screen. Okay.
Okay, my name is Shandelin Anderson, and I am in Virginia, and it is really hot here. And so the beauty of the is you can grow it anywhere. So I've got one growing behind me. So I'm going to be inside tonight instead of outside. But tonight, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about my story and how I started tower gardening. We're going to talk about the tower garden and the different features that it has, how it works, and what and where you can grow your tower garden, and the wide variety of uses for the tower garden, as well as the benefits and the cost of the tower garden. So this is what my raised beds look like in my backyard. And I have been an avid gardener for about, a little over 30 years now. And my husband and I had just put in the plants, and over the course of the spring, I had a girlfriend who kept sending me these videos of her kids and her tower garden. And I just thought, oh, that's cute. And I didn't really pay attention to it until she called me and she says, you have got to look at these videos. I think that you would really like this tower garden. So she sent me a corporate video. I watched it. And then I did a deep dive and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have one of those. I'm going to try this. Now, mind you, when you get your tower garden delivery, it's not like sneaking in a box of shoes. About the same time that the UPS guy was dropping off all of these enormous boxes on my front porch, my husband was pulling up into the driveway and he's like, what did you buy? And I said, oh, you just wait, you'll see. And he kept walking past the sunroom where I was assembling it. And finally he says, what are you going to do with that thing? And I said, I'm going to actually grow produce in it. And he says, what kind of produce? I said, some of the same things that we have growing in the ground in the backyard. And he says, and where are you putting that? And I said, on the back deck. I said, what I want to do is I want to compare this type of growing to traditional ground gardening and see what happens. And so the entire summer, I documented it. I thought it was fun. I thought this is going to be a fun experience. And so I would do videos every week about something that was growing in this tower garden. And I have to tell you, I was shocked at how quickly things grew. And I was excited about how fast they were growing. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. It was the easiest gardening that we had done. So as a result of that, I started getting people asking me questions, and they wanted to know, well, where do I get one of those? And I said, oh, well, let me give you my web address. And when I did, I started selling tower gardens. And about 4 months down the road, my husband says, you started a business and we didn't even have a conversation about it. And I said, it wasn't my intention to start a business. I was just so excited about what was happening and that I was growing all of this produce in this vertical thing that only takes up about a 3 foot circumference. So that was my story. And here we are almost 3 years later, and now I have 5 of them. So, but the tower garden, you can grow vertically in the aeroponic growing system. You can grow your own produce without the time and the space commitment of traditional gardening. And you can grow a wide variety of produce, both inside and outside. And growing in the tower garden takes up about a 3 foot circumference at the max. You can grow 30% more, 3 times faster, and with 98% less water than that of a traditional garden. And that is no joke. I mean, you put things in and you would think that they were on some kind of speed or something as fast as they take off and they grow. This is how the tower garden works.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
So this is a couple of pictures of my tower garden that very first summer that I was growing on the deck. And I had so much produce. It's amazing how much produce you can pull off of this tower garden. And it just kept growing and growing. I think I grew outside until the end of November before I finally broke that tower garden down. And even then, it just hurt my heart to have to pull those plants out because they were still growing, but I didn't want to end up having to break it down in cold weather. So anyway, and these are what my tower gardens look like inside, and some of the things that I grow on the inside: peppers and tomatoes, and just a wide variety of produce. Now, there are 2 types of tower gardens. You've got the Tower Garden Home, which is a smaller version. It's about a 13-gallon reservoir at the base, but it's got rounded corners. And so it's this sleek little sexy looking reservoir at the base where it would fit nicely inside the home. And it's got the lights attached to the top. And then you've got the Tower Garden Flex. And I like to say that the Tower Garden Flex is flexible. You can grow indoors and outdoors with that. And you just have to put the light kit on the top. Now, what I like about the Flex is it has a 20-gallon reservoir at the base. And so if you live someplace where it's windy or, just all kinds of elements where you want to be able to move back and forth, I like that one because of the weight at the bottom. And so it's very rare that my tower garden gets blown someplace because of where it's sitting. But because the reservoir is full most of the time. The other thing that I like about it is I can go on vacation for a week and come back and not have to worry about putting water in it. I might have to right now just because it's so hot, but typically you can go for a long period of time before you have to put water in there. And I like the flat base on the reservoir at the bottom. I like that flat shelf. That's where you can kind of set your seedlings if you want to set seedlings there to grow. But I prefer that one. Now, people ask a lot of questions about the lights. If they're growing indoors, it's like, do I need the lights? Yes, you absolutely need the lights. When you think about our windows have a UV rating in them that blocks the harmful rays out that are not good for us. But those rays are what the plants need. And so they need additional light. They would never be able to get enough light to thrive the way they need to without a light kit on the top of it. Now, when I run my lights about 18 hours a day, and they're on a timer. And so they come on in the morning and they go off a little after midnight. But my husband was looking at how bright they were, and he says, how much is that going to increase our utility bill? And I said, I don't know, let's see. So we kind of watched it for a couple of months. It changed the utility bill running the lights probably about $4 to $6 over the course of the month. The lights, all four of them, are equivalent to a 125 watt bulb. So they're very low on energy, and they're low on heat. So it allows you to put the lights really close to the plants, and they're designed to produce lush, compact vegetative plant growth on the tower gardens. Now, the tower garden makes gardening much easier. Now, I'll tell you, we were sore hauling all the dirt, and you've got to, make sure that your beds are refurbished every year, and pulling weeds and watering and spreading rock gravel in my pathways. There's none of that with the tower garden. You put it together in less than an hour, you fill it with water, and then you wait for your seedlings to grow and you put them in there. And it's easy to install, it's easy to maintain, it's less climate sensitive. That first year that I had the tower garden, it rained a lot. So, if you know anything about gardening in the ground, water from the top is not always necessarily the best thing for the plants. They do better with a drips type system in there. But we had so much water, I kept telling my mom, I'm going to need a boat. We had so much water. But it was nice because I could move the tower garden into the sheltered area where it wasn't being exposed to that. But there's no digging, there's no weeding, there's no dirt. So if you get your nails done, your manicure always looks really good. And it grows 3 times faster than plants do in soil. And the thing about the tower garden is it's produce that's picked at the peak of ripeness. So it's more nutrient dense, and it truly is tower to table, and it tastes different. So when you think about produce that you grow in the grocery store or that you get from the grocery store, and when I have to buy produce, I'm typically going for organic produce, but it's picked long before it's ripe, and then it's transported. And when we talk about growing in the tower garden, we always say it's better than organic. And the reason we say that is because farmers may have organic practices in the fields where they are growing the plants, but when they transport, they're putting the produce in these huge trucks, and they're covering them with a chemically treated tarp that keeps the produce from ripening during transport. And so not only have they picked the produce before it's ready, it's not near as nutrient rich because it's not ripened. And then it's got some chemicals introduced to it during the transport. And so the nice thing about the tower garden is for my inside tower gardens, I will come down into the basement and I will pick stuff off of it. I take it right upstairs and I chop it and I put it on the plate. I don't even wash it. You can taste a difference. My daughter's a vegetarian, and she could not wait to taste one of the salads off the tower garden. And the entire time she was eating it, she kept saying, gosh, this tastes so good. It tastes so different. And it truly is different. I mean, you can taste it. I use less salad dressing on my salads because I want to taste the vegetables. I want to taste the freshness of them. So it really does make a big difference when you can grow those to the peak of ripeness and then pick and harvest them. And there are lots of ways that tower gardens are being used. They're being used in schools, they're being used in farms, and again, for personal use in homes. But businesses are also using them, especially restaurants. They're using them to provide um, their their menu items, the vegetable menus on their items. So it's really a cool opportunity to, have as many as you want or as little as you want, depending on what type of room you have. My goal and my dream is to have a greenhouse full of them. And one day, I keep telling my husband, next house, I can't put it in this house because we're not going to stay in this house. So I'm going to wait. And the next one, I'm like, we need a flat spot with lots of sun. I want that greenhouse there. But Tower Garden also benefits children. When you think about Tower Gardens going into the schools, they actually have a curriculum that they can use that teaches them with the Tower Garden in their STEM programs. But Tower Gardens provide a means for educating children about health and nutrition. It also has been shown that there's increased academic performance because they're really into what they're learning and they're retaining it because it's so exciting. They form a real connection with nature, and it teaches personal responsibilities when they come in and they need to make sure that the minerals are right and that the lights are in the right spot, and just making sure that they are picking the produce. But it also boosts their confidence and pride. Now, I'm not a child by any stretch of the imagination, but I also feel like my ability to provide for my family by growing our own produce boosts my confidence and pride. I love that I know what they're getting and that I'm putting it on the table, and I know it's the best quality that they could possibly have. So Tower Garden is a great way for families to bond, and kids enjoy, and they learn, and kids eat more of what they grow. And you don't need a green thumb. All you need to be able to do is put the Tower Garden together, fill the reservoir with the water and put the nutrients in there and put your plants in there. And it's pretty much automated. Everything is automated. Now, when you look at this chart that I have, this was a study that a Tower Garden farm in Atlanta did several years ago, but I wanted to take some of my local produce, and I wanted to get local, like current prices. And so I went to several grocery stores in my local area, and I based it off of organic produce. And when you look at what the Tower Garden gives you versus what it costs you for just, one item, it's like, for instance, I have a Swiss chard plant that I've had in my Tower Garden for 6 months, and I'm still picking off of it. And the leaves are twice as big as the leaves in the Swiss chard that you're seeing in the grocery store. And I'm getting bunches and bunches of Swiss chard over over that time frame. Whereas you're going to spend $2.99 for one bunch of mediocre looking Swiss chard. So the investment that you put into the Tower Garden, it really pays for itself in about 6 months. It's designed to work and last. It's made out of a food grade plastic, and fresh becomes affordable and convenient for everyone. When you look at the cost of the Tower Garden home model with the lights is $82.91 a month. And that breaks down to $13.95 a week. And you could break it down even further to less than $3, which is more than you pay for a cup of Starbucks coffee. And, I look at this, since I've been growing in a Tower Garden, I haven't bought lettuce in the grocery store in almost 3 years. I haven't bought herbs in the grocery store in that long as well. And so when you look at what you can grow year round, it really does make it affordable. I mean, I just bypass all of those items, all of that produce section in the grocery store unless I'm buying fruit. But other than that, everything that we eat from a vegetable standpoint comes from our gardens. And so, if you're thinking about the tower garden or you have a tower garden, I think it'd be great to get with the person who invited you and they can help you decide which model would best fit for you. And that's my presentation.
I love it. You want to stop? Oh yeah, that was great, Shandelin. Thank you so much. It was really, really informative as always. I hope everyone loved it. I am going to stop the recording, but I want to thank you guys for being on, and you're welcome to stay on and ask questions. So hang on a minute.